Hi there. So this video I'm doing a maths question from Cambridge, syllabus code 9709, variant 11, May June 2022 there. Then the topic is quadratics. That's question 1 of the paper. So when our question says express x squared minus 8x plus 11 in the form that where p and q are constants. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna point at some 2 points, important points that I think are important, and then maybe that can help you tackle this question. So on your screen, so I'm not saying you should do this always, but I think it might be helpful. So the first thing is make sure the coefficient of x squared is positive 1, right? So make sure the coefficient of x squared is positive 1. That's the first step, and then after that, like, it's not a step actually, but it's a method how to find this p, right? So to find that p, of the coefficient, of x, right? So you don't need to write this in your exam, but these are just tips that I think are important when approaching this question. And then let's just so this would be like your answer, what you write in your exam. So the question is x squared minus 8x plus 11, right? Then we're expressing it in the form x plus p squared plus q. So here's what I'm gonna do. First step, the coefficient of x squared is plus 1, so we don't need to worry about that. So what we're gonna do is x. To find p, we have the coefficient of x, which is minus 8, so we get minus 4 squared, right? And then for you to get q, what we have to do is to square the number only. Please don't include the square, don't include the sign when squaring. So what I'm doing is squaring the 4, like this number. We're squaring, like we are squaring p, excluding the sign. So p is 4 in this case. So if we square 4, we get 16, and then we always subtract. I'm gonna explain why we always subtract later. And then we have our 11 here. So we simplify x minus 4 squared, then minus 16 plus 11. What's the answer? Minus 16 plus 11 is minus 5, right? I don't have a calculator, so I'm doing mental math. So some of you may wonder why we always say minus 16. So what happens is, so I need you to see that what we did is from this expression, right, we replaced it with this one, right? So we are saying what's here is equal to what's there. So I just want to show you guys why I'm saying you should always subtract, right? So it's, if we say x minus 4 squared, right, if we expand this, what do we get? We get x squared minus 8x plus 16, right? And then x minus 4 squared minus 16 equals to x squared minus 8x. So from this, from what I just wrote here, you can see that x squared minus 8x is equivalent to what? X minus 4 squared minus 16. That's why you always subtract. Sometimes it can be plus 4 here, but you always say minus 16 because of that reason. So just to make myself clear, let's just do this example. So with a positive one, so it's a, let's say says x squared plus 10x minus 3, like completing the square of that. So for demonstration, I'm just completing the square of x squared plus 10x minus 3. So what it's gonna do, check the coefficient of x squared. In this case it's plus 1, so we don't need to worry about that. So it's gonna be x, and then to find p, this is p, right? To find p, I have the coefficient of x, which is 10, so the half of 10 is 5. So let's say plus 5, and then I square everything. After that, the number I need to square 5 excluding the sign. So in this case it's positive sign, so it doesn't show actually. So but we are always going to say minus, let's say whether it's positive. So if I square 5, it's 25. So here it's 25, and then we have minus 3 there, and then our completed square form will be x squared minus 25 minus 3, that's minus 28. I just want to show you again, if you say x plus 5 squared, right? If I expand that, it's x squared plus 10x plus what? 25. So if I put 25 that side, so it's x plus 5 squared minus 25 equals to x squared plus 10x. So that's x squared here plus 10x is equivalent to x plus 5 squared minus 25. That's why I replace, so that's why we always say minus here. I hope you get me. So it's always minus, of which what you are subtracting is a square of p. Exclude, don't square the sign, you are always subtract, right? So here's what's going to happen. Yep, so that was part A, and then if we go to part B, it says hence find the exact solution of the equation x squared minus 8x plus 11 equals to what? Equals to 1. So when I give it, we are like in pure maths, like when you're given part B, it means you have to like rely on part A somehow. Like it's not always the case, but try to rely on part A somehow. So we don't need that. Yep, we don't need that. So it's just a demonstration, right? Yeah. So from a previous example, we expressed the equation here into the form x plus p squared blah blah blah, and then that same equation is also here, but in this case it's equal to 1. The expression above is equal to 1 in part B. So you need to kind of, yes, you can start from scratch to solve the equation, but I don't think it's a good one. But try to use the answer you got from part A in this case, which is, so okay, let me just write it. So x squared minus 8x plus 11 equals to what? X minus 4 squared minus 5, right? So I just want to take that down. If I take it down here, so I can rewrite this equation by substituting x squared minus 8x plus 11 with x minus 4 squared minus 5. So it's x minus 4 squared minus 5 equals to 1. So I've changed nothing. I just wrote that expression in another form we changed in part A. So if I add 5 on both sides, since it's an equation, if I say plus 5 plus 5, so it becomes x minus 4 squared, which is equals to what? 6, right? And then I want to take out the square root on the side where I have x. So the square on the side I have x, so we square root both sides. So it's x minus 4 equals to square root of what? Of 6, right? And then it should be plus or minus square root of 6, and then our x equals to 4 plus or minus square root of 6. So that was part B for you. And then if you look forward to so I'll be solving these questions a lot. If you have any question that you want me to solve, let's say, just follow the naming system I mentioned in my first video in this series. If you haven't checked it out, just check it out. So just let me know in the comments, just include the syllabus code. After you include the syllabus code, let me know which variant, season, whether it's February, March, May, June, October, November, and then the year, let's say 2021, 2022, the topic, and then the question number. I'm sure I'll do your question, whether it might be further maths or it may be chemistry, physics, and maths 9709. So if you guys are happy with my videos, just subscribe and like, please, and share.